What's up, guys? It's your boy Anime Boom, and I am back for another video. And I've been thinking about it. Dragon Ball Daima. We got that new trailer for Dragon Ball Daima, and the concept of it is basically Goku. Well, I don't know the concept, but based off the trailers, and I feel like there's a concept. They've given like an overview of like a description of what the show is about, I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to give you my opinion of what the show looks like from what I saw. The show looks like Goku and his friends get turned into kids and they're going to go on wacky adventures as kid versions of themselves. And the first thing I thought about was Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT is known for that being the main thing of Dragon Ball GT. Goku turned into a little kid, and when Dragon Ball Super wasn't around or whatever, GT is all we had as the last show for Dragon Ball, and people bashed GT, man. They hated GT. They talked about how it killed the series. It wasn't nothing like Dragon Ball Z, and it's the worst thing ever. That was the Boruto back then, and it really is still hated. People still don't like GT, and one of the main reasons they didn't like GT is because Goku turned into a little kid. The reason people don't like Goku turning into a little kid is we went through all the adult stuff. He grew up, and to make him go back down to a little kid and act goofy and silly again, I feel like that's a downgrade. We don't want silly kid stuff anymore. We want adult, mature Goku where he's taking on serious threats and stuff. We don't want Dragon Ball comedy anymore. And another thing that I don't like about Kid Goku from GT is Goku's already silly. He's silly, but he's still an adult at the same time. That's what we wanted. We wanted Dragon Ball Z Goku still. We wanted a sequel to Dragon Ball Z. And it's funny that Daima's the same. It's like we still want adult Goku and sequels to Super and Z, man. We don't care about Kid Goku anymore. They don't realize that we just don't care about Kid Goku no more. We don't want to see silly, goofy humor, because most times it's not even funny. It's not going to be the Dragon Ball a super adult humor. It's going to be like silly humor that's not even funny. It's kiddie humor. It's not funny. So what's the point of them even like going there with kids and stuff? It's like I already said it. The moment I seen it, I knew it reminded me of this, but it's like Looney Tune Babies or something. Have you seen that show, Looney Tune Babies? It's like a pre-K version of Looney Tunes. That's what they did to Dragon Ball. We didn't need this. I don't need to see Vegeta. It's Goku. It's like not as bad with Goku. It's like Goku already acts like a kid, so it's like, okay, I can see Goku acting like a kid, but then they got all the real, like the menaces, the real G's, the real gangster characters turned into little kids too, like Piccolo and Vegeta and stuff like that, and Beerus. And that's the type of, I was like, oh, that it don't work. And I think at that point, I think it's worse than GT. GT at least kept the other characters as adults, and they felt way different from Goku. Whenever Goku was on screen, it was silly, but whenever those characters showed up, it felt way more mature. It felt like Z again. Like GT Vegeta to me is like freaking a legendary, but Daima, man, just said forget it. Vegeta's gonna be a little kid too. First of all, I don't like the design of little kid Vegeta. Vegeta never looked like that. Now, this is me being picky, I'm not gonna lie, but Vegeta never looked like that. That design, we know how Vegeta looked in Dragon Ball. How he looked in Dragon Ball Z as a little kid, he looked scary. He looked like a freaking killer. His hair wasn't perfectly spiked up like how it is when he's an adult, and how like the newer shows make it look. He looked like his hair was just all, it was wild, and he looked like an evil Saiyan. He looked real evil back then. But this design he makes, it just is silly and stuff. But I get it. It's not the real, they're not really turning into their baby selves. They're turning into how they look, and they're shrinking them into babies. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But don't like the design. I like how other baby Vegeta looked. Baby in Dragon Ball Z. He looks cooler there. But yeah, like just all the stuff we just went through. We really waited like 5 years. We waited 5 years for the continuation of the Super story. We wanted to see the conclusion of it. They was making new arcs and stuff I was hearing about. Like Black Frieza really sounded cool. The Black Frieza stuff, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Really cool. But now they're doing like filler arcs. This feels like a filler arc. The funny thing about me ranting about this is I feel like this might just end up being like a little small filler arc. Then they're gonna go right into doing the actual Super show. That would be hilarious. I'm like, dang, I did all this. I wasted all my energy, and they're gonna do Super anyways. The sequel to Super. But yeah, man, that's how I feel about it. If I'm right now, I think GT is gonna be better. At least GT got serious, man. GT knew when to get serious. Like, the baby stuff is some of the darkest stuff I've ever seen in GT. GT, that part was dark. I can't watch the part where Goku gets... Actually, I did just recently watch that a couple months back. I watched the whole... Was it the Shinran? The Dark Star Dragon Ball part. I watched that whole part, and it was really hard to get through. Those silly dragons he was facing at the beginning were really hard to get through. And really, I'm gonna be honest, like, it really took it to like Omega Shenron for me to really care. Like, I didn't care about the golden guy and the cold one, the hot and ice one. They sucked. All the rest of them were too silly. Omega Shenron was the only one I was like, oh, he's scary, man. He's scary. And like that episode where he's like killing everybody and Goku does a spirit bomb. Then the final episode, man, it's like, dang, that was a great ending. GT's ending is great. So I hope Daima does stuff better. Like, I guess if the positives for it, the animation looks good. Like, the animation might possibly look better than Super. It looks like they actually like took some time to do something creative and different. Like, they actually gonna make a show with crazy animation and stuff. Like, none of it looked nasty. All of it looked really good. So I think the animation might be better than GT animation. GT never looked bad either, though, so they gonna have a little competition. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. GT did look bad. Remember Cell and Frieza looked really weird fighting Goku in GT? Really weird, especially Cell. He looked weird. But yeah, Daima looks like it looks good. I think Daima's gonna have to do with this show. I think they're gonna have to, at the beginning, please explain what is going on. Why are our favorite characters turning into little kids? They have to explain it at the beginning. Like, I think a perfect way of doing it is start it off. They didn't show Beerus or Whis. This has something to do with the gods, and Beerus and Whis are trying to do something. Something went wrong. Our main favorite characters turn into little kids. So at least it feels a little bit connected to Super. Don't just go off making random storylines, making them turn into little kids. I don't want to see Beerus as a little kid. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. It's not going to be funny. I don't need to see Broly as a little kid. I can't watch that for multiple episodes. I just can't do it. So they got to do a storyline. Maybe Beerus and Whis do something, mess up something, turn them into little kids, and then like maybe like after 10 episodes, I don't even want 10 episodes of this, but after like 5 episodes, they then go back to the regular Super stuff. That's all I really want. Just do the Super stuff. Ain't got to do all of that. That'll be a great way to make fans like, okay, we're gonna get this, so we're gonna get Super after, because, man, fans are scared right now, man. It's looking like we ain't about to see Super in another 10 years or whatever. Like, they really could have just kept doing the movies. The movies was hitting, man. I know the last one was kind of like, They did terrible promotion on that one. If it was promoted better, that one would have been a big hit. The Broly movie, I feel like, was promoted. Like, they did a great job. They was releasing trailers in English at the same time they was for Japanese, and they was just showing it all the time. I always seen the Broly stuff. So they did a good job. But that one with Gohan, I barely saw it. I barely saw it, man. And that's not good. I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. If I barely saw it, that says a lot. And then the trailers were weak. They didn't really. It took them a minute to make me feel something. It was really, really bad. So they gotta. Um, I just hope they release some movies, man, because the movies was really my favorite thing of Dragon Ball. Even the old Dragon Ball movies, the movies hit, man. Seeing the whole group together fighting villains that just come out of nowhere and stuff is always fun, man. So that's what they really need to just go back to the movies. Just forget Daima, man. It's all right. We good with that show. We don't need to see that. So just tell me how y'all feel about it. Do y'all like this Daima? Do y'all think it's gonna be the next GT? Do y'all think GT is actually worse than Daima already? It's like, no, GT is the worst Dragon Ball show. It's no question. Like, it's gonna be the worst. But peace out, y'all. Anime Boom, my peace.